Hello everyone, my name is Bryce, and this will be the presentation for the IST 331 White team. We decided to do our web redesign on the Blue Moon Fresh restaurant. It's a casual upscale restaurant in York, PA that serves fresh seasonal American cuisine, so they have seasonal dishes and all that. First impressions with the website, you can tell that probably the actual content covers about a third of the screen, so that's less than ideal. For the purpose of this video, I will crop the region that you can actually see so you can see what I'm talking about better. So upon visiting the website, you come to the home page, which has some general information about the restaurant, and it has some like location and contact information down at the bottom, which is pretty standard, and the navigation for having like the tabs up at the top that you can click on the individual pages is also pretty standard for standard practice for websites nowadays. Now if you go to the menus and you have not visited the website before, you have to enable Flash Player. So that right there is a minor inconvenience, but it kind of gets in the way of what you're trying to do. And then in order to get back to the menus, say you didn't want to just look at the specials, you have to click on the menus tab again and reload the page, which all the other menus open up a separate page to a PDF, and again you have to go back to here to see. The best part about that is you don't have to reload the page to see the other menus. It's mainly just the specials menu and the bar menu that are like that. So you move on to the hours page. Pretty standard stuff. Their alignment's good. The white text is certainly easier to read than the black text on the home page. So for the hours page, they did a little bit better on readability. You go to the reviews page. They have this scrollable review. It's a little clunky, but it's very functional. It doesn't impede the information that's trying to be shown on this page. You go to the events page, and there you got some problems. It is bigger, which is great. So that's a plus, okay? But the tiling on the texture is atrocious, in my opinion. We had in our reading that textured backgrounds are harder to read off of, and it's especially distracting if the texture is tiled and not blended together properly. It really juts out and takes my attention away from what I'm actually trying to read. So that was a huge major thing that we wanted to get rid of. It is nice that this page is actually larger though. I don't know why they didn't take that across all of their pages, but that's why it's getting the redesign. For the sign up, the emailing list is fairly straightforward. Everything's pretty standard here. It doesn't look horrible, but the size of the web page is an illness that takes across the whole site. Like, all of the text is smaller than it could be because just the sizing of the web page, and makes a lot of things go wrong. And for their contact page, again, pretty standard. The map brings up a separate window, which is kind of nice because it's all contained in one window and you don't have to enable Flash Player for it, but it's a little bit suboptimal. So that's why we decided that this website could use a revamping, a redesign, and that's why we chose this website for our project.
Hi, my name is Justin, and I'll be going over the tools used to complete this project. When deciding on which prototyping tool to use, we checked out the various options provided and decided to use InVision. We quickly realized that we would need the graphics for the page to be produced in a graphical image editor of some sorts. There was a bit of a disparity between preferred programs, so some of our members used Adobe Illustrator as it was provided through Penn State, while others used PaintShop Pro 7. The end result for both programs is similar, so we shared the individual pages and then combined them to form the graphic we needed for InVision.
Hello, my name is Jonathan, and I will be discussing the low-fidelity prototype. We gathered together to discuss our low-fidelity prototypes and discovered that we all had some similar elements between them. Some elements conflicted with one another, and this mainly came about with navigation options. The major difference between our prototypes was that every group member had gone with the traditional navigation hierarchy, whereas I propose that we take a different route and have all of the pages combined into one main scrollable page. We decided to go with this option because of the ease of use and navigation. This prototype featured a hamburger style menu in the top left corner to allow for navigation to different parts of the web page. It also included a chevron in the bottom right corner to allow for the user to go to the top of the web page. This allows for the client to have only one web page that needs to be maintained instead of multiple web pages.
Hello, my name is Kevin Hansen. Today I'll be discussing the changes we made to the high fidelity prototype. The changes were relatively minimal. When we took a second pass at the low fidelity prototype, we noticed some minor details that we missed the first time around. Things like font sizing and consistency, orientation of images, background coloring for the menus, alignment for the hours, spelling, and other minor issues that actually all ended up to make a sizable difference. We also decided to eliminate the hamburger menu in favor of an above and below navigation menu. I'd have to say the most noticeable change was improving the appearance of the fonts.
So, for my part, I'll be discussing the high fidelity struggles in user testing. So, once we got to making the prototype using the image compiled with InVision, we encountered some obstacles. As a result, we came to a conclusion about the different path we would have to take in order to make the prototype work properly. To our knowledge, InVision did not support the hamburger menu style pop-up navigation that we decided on. At first, we thought that we may lock the top bar and put the navigation as a table list there, but having a top bar, clocked the main screen and made the screen size sub-optional, which was not part of our plan. In order to have a navigation bar, we decided to have a small bottom bar that was like the sole purpose of it was the navigation. And I've talked to many people about the website and try to get feedback from them of what they thought was good about it, bad about it. So one person in particular stood out to me, and according to her feedback, her experience from navigation, organization, overall her impression about the site that we made was perfect, was well made, because she was able to navigate uh, way better than the old site, pretty much. So I asked her to grade us from 0 to 5 on how we pretty much did on our part, and she graded us like on 5, which was way better than the old menu. So